Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I just have a quick video for you guys today. So I apologize for the lackluster scene here. I'm just trying to squeeze this in between other things I have to do today. But if you did not catch my last video, I shared a new to me candle company, Swan Creek Candle Co. So I shared my order, what led me to try Swan Creek, and what my first impressions were of the scents that I ordered. I got 2 candles, 4 wax melts, as you can see here. And I had hoped to do some shorts last week, kind of updating you as I went along, but my kids were off from school and it was really loud in my house, so I just never got around to it. But I did have all last week to kind of try these out, get some burn time going, and I promised you guys an update. So now that I've spent some time here, I kind of have a little bit of a feel for, for what my opinions are with Swan Creek. I'm kind of at an in-between place, where there's some things I really like, and then there's some things that haven't been as impressive as I would have hoped. So I guess, we'll start with the candles. The first one I burned is the red one there, Cherry Almond Buttercream. And that one was really, really strong on cold. I had really high hopes for it. I've heard great things about this fragrance. But honestly, guys, it's off to a really rough start. The throw has not been good. It's been probably somewhere between a 2 to a 3 intensity to start with. And, it really doesn't travel far beyond where it is. It's very hard to kind of even get a read on the fragrance itself because it's just so light. And it's really been really been surprising because that cherry and the almond are so potent on cold, and then getting into burning, I really thought this would have a little bit more of a punch, but it's just been so light. So part of the reason I think that is one of the concerns I had going in was that these are single wicks. I really feel like if they were to come up with a 2 wick design, that these would be a lot more potent, a lot more popular. And, that's really kind of like the concern I had going in. And unfortunately, it seems to be, the main issue I'm having. It took a really long time to get pools on both of these. On the initial pool, I would say over 4 hours, which I'm somebody who's in and out of the house a lot, so to commit over 4 hours to a burn has been a struggle because I'm somebody that needs something that can pull within 2 hours or so, because when you're going back and forth picking up the kids from school and sports and all that, I just don't have 5+ hour blocks of time on a regular basis for me to really kind of get on board with these candles. So hopefully, as it burns down a little bit, it has gotten a little bit quicker in the last couple burns, but still just longer than I'm used to. And I just really feel like because it's 1 wick, it's kind of holding back on the throw. The other thing is I feel like you have to kind of let the flame get a little bit bigger than what I like, because if you don't, you just don't generate enough heat. The best performance I've gotten out of it is when when I have let the flame get a little bit bigger than I like. But with that has also come a little bit of sooting. I'm gonna try to turn this here so you can see. There's a little bit of soot formulation already up on the edge of this jar, which, considering I'm not very far into this, is a little bit concerning. The pistachio butter cookie is doing a little bit better. This one, I would say the intensity has been more of a 4-5, a little bit more enjoyable. I'm getting a little bit more of the fragrance. It's not sooting as much yet, but I also have a little bit less burn time on that. So again, the same thing with the pooling, needing a long time. I will add that I did use Yankee Candle Illumilids on there. The flat ones, if you have the domed ones, those don't really fit to the outside of the jar. But if you have the flat ones that just lay flat on top of there, those have worked well. I've also put them in hurricanes just to kind of aid the heat trapping. But the single wicks, these are going to be tough for me. So unless things really get better into the burn of these candles, that might not be a good fit for me. But if you're someone who's home a lot, maybe you work from home, or you spend a lot of time home on the weekends and you just want something that you can burn, for a good part of the day, might be a better fit for you. But from where I'm at, I really wish these had more than 1 wick. I will say the pistachio butter cookie fragrance is fantastic. I will consider, if the candle doesn't work out for me, I will consider getting it in a wax melt in the future. It's a really nice, creamy, nutty sort of pistachio cookie scent. There's a little bit of an almond tone on cold, but that kind of dissipates a little bit into the burn and really kind of tones down into that more nutty, that true pistachio type of fragrance. And, it's really rich. It's really creamy. I'm just really loving the fragrance itself, just not exactly loving, the burn of the candle. So that's something I definitely will consider getting in a wax melt. The other highlight I've had here from the wax melts, my second favorite here in terms of fragrance, has been the whipped almond frosting. This one has really been impressive. The strength has been good. It's been one of the stronger ones on cold, and it was one of the stronger ones melting. I used a 25-watt electric hot plate warmer. I kind of split it, so I have one warmer in my kitchen and then one warmer across the room in my living room. And that's kind of the method I used with most of these, except for, actually, no, except for two. Sorry, not most of these, two of these. But that's the method I used, and I got really good results. It started out with a lot of the almond up front, and then, several hours in, it turned into just more of a nice sort of creamy cookie. And it started out strong, and it fizzled out a little bit over the course of the day, but it always stayed kind of present as a nice background scent. So that's the type of thing I like, where you can melt it for a while, get enjoyment, out of it. But then later in the day, if I want to light a candle or, put something else in a different warmer, I can still leave that going and get a little bit more out of it, but it won't overtake whatever else I have going in the room. Just kind of a nice sort of layering background scent. Just the whipped almond frosting, I think, was based on a holiday cookie scent. So definitely kind of more of an all year. It doesn't really have a holiday feel to it. So that's something I can see, picking up frequently just to have around as a nice sort of background scent. I can see it going really well with some of my Christmas tree stuff in the wintertime, but really like the whipped almond frosting. The other one that I liked but didn't love was the citrus zest swirl. This one I didn't like it as much on cold. There was something a little bit weird about it on cold, but melting, I would say it started off a little bit lime, key lime zest heavy, and then as the lime faded out, it turned into a nice sort of creamy orange. Pleasant, very sort of summery, gourmand, but just not super impressive to me. I have a lot of citrus types of things here, and just it didn't really stand out for me in the way that made it super unique or anything like that. So not something that I really see myself repurchasing, but enjoyable nonetheless. The strength was decent. I would say I had that one in my kitchen, and it performed pretty well. And the other one here that performed well was the pumpkin vanilla. Good performance, but I actually didn't love the scent, which was surprising because I think this was probably my favorite on cold. But melting, it was just sort of lacking something. On cold, it's very, very sweet and creamy, and I kind of was thinking that once it melted, it would have a little bit more depth and a little bit more of a spice or a little bit more pumpkin-y tone. And unfortunately, I just felt like it just stayed really sweet, almost mapley. And, it just wasn't what I expected. And not bad, not off-putting or anything like that. It's just, it was lacking a little bit of that pumpkin that I was looking for. So unfortunately, that one I don't see myself repurchasing. I will probably save the rest of that clamshell to melt in the fall months when I have other things going that will kind of complement it, some spicier scents. But for me, for right now, not loving the pumpkin vanilla, but it did perform well. So it just depends what you're looking for in the fragrance. And then lastly, we have After the Rain. This one, I didn't love it on cold, but, I feel like it's a little bit better melting. I actually have it going in that tea light warmer, behind it there. And I would say it's pretty light. This is the lightest of the wax melts for sure, which is surprising because it's in a hotter warmer. The tea light warmers, if you're not familiar, these get hotter than your general electric warmers. So whether they're Scentsy or just a hot plate, the tea lights will always get a little bit hotter, which usually means a stronger burst of throw up front. But then because it's so hot, it will usually burn off faster. So for this one, I kind of just wanted to get a feel for it. And, it's just really sort of light here, warming. It's not bad. I was thinking this was going to be a little bit more of a springy rain scent, but there's just so much eucalyptus in it that it almost feels like a winter rain. So not unpleasant. It's just not exactly, again, what I was hoping for. And, like I said, the performance not being the best, it's probably not something that I would repurchase again. But, kind of just mixed feelings because I have a couple fragrances here I really love, and then a couple that are just, so-so, and then a couple that are disappointing. So, yeah, that's where we're at. So, I don't know if that helps you guys or not. I will try to give you another update on the candles at some point, whether it's in an empties video, although that might take a while because it's taking a really long time to get through these. But if I have any updates to share as I get further into the jar, like if things are really improving, I'll be sure to share that. And if they're really not, and I really feel like this is just not going to work for me, I'll share that too. So, thank you guys for watching. I think my next video might be a vendor wax haul. So for those who have heard of Teddy B's Wax Co., which I actually mentioned, I think, in my last video as well. If you purchase vendor wax, I have a big order that I think is going to be here hopefully by Wednesday. If it is, I'll try to film a video of first impressions because I think there's a restock coming up next weekend. And I know a lot of people will be trying to use their fast fingers to get some of the goodies during the restock. So, yeah, if I can do that, I will film that. If it's late, I might not be able to, but so far it should be here either tomorrow or Wednesday, so we'll see. But thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're curious about what's coming in the future, make sure you subscribe to my channel to get updates and alerts. And as always, thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And I hope you had a great Easter for those who celebrate, a great Easter Sunday yesterday. So thank you so much. Take care, you guys.